Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode 24. R.I.P. to the late, great Kobe Bryant. I am your host, Monte Lee. I am also your resident common sensiologist because in today's age, quite frankly, we are lacking in just that common sense. If this is your first time listening to the program, thank you. What we have over here and what we do is we have conversations that are real, genuine, a dose of fun put in there as well. But at the end of the day, what I want to see people doing and what I want from people and what I want people to do is to be successful, to get what they want out of life, have realistic expectations, and also do so with jest and with some common sense. So, without further ado, if you're listening to this on your podcast app, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. If you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube, make sure that you hit that like and you subscribe. Let's go ahead, get right into the program. Lend me a BMW, all that good stuff. A BMW is, if you believe in my work, just make sure that you support the program by sharing, and subscribing. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into the program. The first thing that I wanted to speak about today is I wanted to talk about this story that involves none other than Lamar Odom. So, this article was posted on Saturday, July 31st, courtesy of Yahoo News. And the title is Lamar Odom, the former Los Angeles Laker forward who played with Kobe Bryant and won championships with Kobe Bryant, has been ordered to pay Liza Morales almost $400K in child support. You got that right. $400K in child support.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that?
So, according to the article, a judge ruled in Liza Morales' favor in a case against her ex and father of her two children, Lamar Odom. According to Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Matthew Cooper, the former Los Angeles Laker has to cough up $380,549 to cover past child support payments along with rent arrears, legal fees, and college tuition, according to a report by Page 6. Wow. So this is back child support. So he had been paying child support for some time, but he decided to stop paying during the pandemic. He should have known. He shouldn't have known. Yeah, I had to give him the Simpson. I had to give him another one. I had to give him the Homer to that. All right. So, according to the article, he also has to pay towards a $1 million life insurance policy that lists Morales as the beneficiary. So, Lamar Odom has gone through a lot of things in his past. I know that there's been some drug abuse and addiction there. I'm not trying to make light of that. He's also made horrible choices in partners, as he has partnered with a Kardashian. You already know how I feel about that family if you've ever heard me speak or utter anything on this program. You have to, at some point, it's not just about the woman. It's not about the situation you're in. You have to take accountability as a man. You produced a child. You are responsible for that child. And it is your responsibility to take care of that child once that child is born. he needs to be held accountable for his choices. So I'm not absolving his involvement in this one iota. Okay. So let's go back to the article. So Morales sued Odom in May 2021 for not adhering to their 2015 child support agreement. She claimed that he stopped issuing payments in June 2020 that will cover expenses for their now 2 adult children, 23-year-old Destiny and 19-year-old Lamar Jr.
You're with us, Ron. What do you think? It's terrible. She has beautiful eyes and her hair smells like cinnamon.
I got to give him this too. He needed 2 of them. He needed 2 of them for that. 23-year-old and 19-year-old. I think he's only stopped paying for a year. So that means Lamar Jr. would have been 18 and 23-year-old Destiny would have been 22. What's the catch? Don't you have to stop paying child support at 18? Let's peruse the article further to find out what's going on here. So not only was Odom not showing up for court appearances, it's common knowledge that he participated in a celebrity boxing match that paid $40,000. I think that was the one against Aaron Carter. I did not watch that, but apparently he knocked Aaron Carter upside the head a couple of times, who's like 1.5 feet shorter than him. Good job, Lamar. Only $40,000? Man, I thought they would have got more out of that. $40,000. Man, goodness gracious. Okay, so during a hearing in June, Judge Cooper slammed Odom for not taking care of his obligation. So according to Judge Cooper, it says, if Mr. Odom is in good enough shape to participate in a boxing match, he's certainly in good enough shape to abide by his obligations to support his children as set forth in the settlement agreement. The judge also added, there is an enormous amount of money involved and Miss Morales is being unfairly prejudiced by the failure of Odom to comply with the agreement. So after Morales sued Odom, he responded to her claims on social media, and he said he has made the child support payments when his kids were children, and once they hit adulthood, he stopped. So he said, I have paid child support for children on time monthly for the past 18 years. My children are adults. I am saddened that in the past 15 years that Liza has not taken the initiative to get a job and create a source of income for herself aside from my monthly payment of child support. She is smart, able, and capable of working to support the lavish lifestyle she wants to live. Now, okay, I agree with him there. So apparently she hasn't gotten a job during this time, and the kids are adults. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on there that's causing him to have to continue paying. So here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. So apparently Miss Morales has been residing in New York City. So men, you need to know what the laws when it comes to child support is in your state. So according to NewYorkCourts.org, the age that you have to pay child support till is 21. It's according to NewYorkCourts.gov. In New York State, a child is entitled to be supported by his or her parents until the age of 21. However, if the child is under 21 years of age and is married or self-supporting or in the military, the child is considered to be emancipated and the parent's support obligation ends. And that's why he still has to pay child support to Miss Morales, because the younger child is 19. Wow. And I also got some more information about this incident where the two children are still living in the apartment with her. There's an incentive for her to do that. So what I am saying, and the reason why I'm highlighting this story, is you are responsible for the consequences of the choices you make, especially as a man. If you don't want to take care of and provide for your children, you should really consider who and vet who you decide to procreate with. It's all fun and games when you're looking on Instagram. You're seeing the Coke bottle shape. You're seeing the beautiful assets and the figure, and you are blinded by the beauty. That's all well and good. That's a season, okay? There's a point where you need to get down to brass tacks and you need to figure out, is this somebody I can see myself being with for the long haul? Is this somebody I want to procreate with and have a relationship with them for the rest of my life? Far too often, people are living and moving in seasons, and they are not considering the macro of the situation. They are not considering legacy. They are not considering, what is my relationship going to be with this person if it doesn't work out? What kind of person is this? Is this the type of person I want raising my children? Far too often, these very wealthy people, very wealthy men a lot of the time, are making poor decisions in who they are procreating with, and it's biting them after the fact. And I don't got any sympathy for him. He needs to pay for the children that he brought into this world. But let this be a learning lesson. This podcast is here to give you knowledge and gems of wisdom and insight into things, so that when you're moving through your life, you can at least understand what is going on and make an informed decision on who you decide to associate with and move with and allow to be in your life. The first question you need to ask is this person adding any value to my life? Okay. And why are they around, and do you like them being around? Is it even peaceful when they're around? These are conversations that far too often growing up, especially young men, especially me being a young black man, we just don't have this conversation often. Far too often when I was growing up, especially in the hip hop and rap culture, everything was about being macho and being tough and being brash. And you don't have conversations that will really help you when it comes to relationships and healthy relationships, and what does it mean to be in a healthy relationship with somebody. And I think that's what's happened to a lot of these athletes, these entertainers. They are getting caught up in these situations where they're literally blinded by the beauty of some of these women, and the relationships don't work out for whatever reason. And then they are paying an exorbitant amount of money to support those children, as they should, because they made the choice to have relations and procreate with these women. So I want this to be a learning lesson to you, listeners. I want this to be a learning lesson to you, young man, and you, young lady, if you don't want to be out here single mother or father paying child support to Kingdom Come that's really handicapping you financially until the child turns 21 if you're in New York. All that's telling me right now is don't need to be having no kids in New York. For real. Have the kid outside of New York and then y'all can go to New York to visit. Sheesh. All right. So that's the first topic of the day. We'll move right on. That's what I had to say about that. Okay. Keeping the take spicy like some spicy nacho Doritos with a little bit of ground beef and some sharp cheddar cheese. You already know how we do. Team Ortega taco sauce over here. All right. So the second story that I wanted to broach in this episode, I wanted to talk about the NHL. You heard it right. The NHL. So according to TMZ Sports, Evander Kane of the Sharks. There's an NHL team called the Sharks. Okay, that's how much I know about the NHL. So Evander Kane, the title is Sharks Evander Kane. I never gambled on games, NHL games. My ex is lying. And this was posted on August 1st, 2021. So Evander Kane is adamant he never gambled on hockey or through games, insisting his estranged wife is straight up lying after she accused the NHL star of betting on the sport. So she must be salty about something. So let's see. Let's delve more into this. I didn't look this topic over that much before I started talking about it. So let's react to this together. So I have never gambled, bet on hockey. Never gambled, bet on a Sharks game. Never gambled, bet on any of my games, and never thrown a hockey game, Kane wrote on Twitter. He later continued, I love the game of hockey and would never do any of what was alleged. I look forward to cooperating fully with the league's investigation, having my name cleared, and looking forward to this upcoming season. The messages that he responded to were from Anna Kane, who made explosive allegations on Saturday where she accused her soon-to-be ex-husband of gambling on hockey games, a cardinal sin in sports. She wrote, how does the NHL let a compulsive gambling addict still play when he's obviously throwing games to win money? Maybe someone needs to address this. So soon after that, Anna posted her message. The NHL announced they were investigating the claim. The league said they were aware of the post on social media alleging that San Jose Sharks player Evander Kane bet on NHL games. The integrity of our game is paramount, and the league takes these allegations very seriously. We intend to conduct a full investigation and we'll have no further comment at this time. So Evander's team, the Sharks, also commented on the allegations, saying they've been in contact with the league and plan to aid in the investigation. So for what it's worth, Kane, who's midway through a 7-year deal worth $49 million, allegedly had issues with a casino in the past. Yeesh. Back in 2019, the Cosmopolitan in Vegas sued the hockey star for $500K, claiming he had unpaid debts. The lawsuit was later dropped. So, hey, she might be on to something there because he has a history. But what that situation sounds like to me is the wife is salty for whatever reason, and she's trying to take down her husband in a major way. Because if it's somebody's in sports, that's like a cardinal sin. Like, that's the worst thing you can do as an athlete is bet on your game, especially games you're playing in, because you can ruin the reputation of the sport. Look at Pete Rose. I don't even watch baseball like that, and everybody knows about Pete Rose and how he bet on baseball, and he's been like ostracized from baseball. He should have been in a Hall of Fame a long time ago. He is just also like, it's like a black flag anytime you mention Pete Rose in baseball. And he was one of the greatest baseball players to ever live. Wasn't his nickname with Charlie Hustle? That's a great nickname, by the way. That's top 5 all sports nickname all time. Come on now. So, yeah, more information is gonna have to come out about this situation. I hope that man did not bet on the game, and if that's a false allegation, what happens of that? What's the deal? Because nowadays, I think there's far too often allegations, and there's not follow up on these situations, and it leads to somebody's reputation really being tarnished for something that is not true. And I'm not going to spend that much time on this, but I'm just looking on TMZ right now. This was posted today at 1:56 p.m. That's August 3rd. And I haven't talked about her, and I really don't plan to talk about her much, but what is going on with Britney Spears, man? According to TMZ, Britney Spears indicated, "I lock myself in my bathroom. It's weird, entertaining, and maybe alarming." So we all know that there's something not right with this lady. Mental illness is a real thing. It's a serious topic. And there's a lot of people talking about allowing her to have more autonomy. But you could just look Britney Spears in the face and see that she's not mentally there in so many ways. It's okay to have a legal guardian. It's okay to have somebody looking out for you and making decisions for you in your best interest. And that person should definitely be monitored as well. But I think it's clear just from looking at her erratic behavior that Britney Spears should have somebody monitoring her day-to-day things, because there's definitely illness there. So the article goes on to say that Britney Spears just told a long, bizarre story about getting locked in her bathroom in the middle of the night, and it's eyebrow raising for sure. The pop star just shared her wild bathroom adventure, explaining how she got trapped in there in the first place and detailing the lengths to which she and others went to set her free. Britney says she got distracted by some leftover coffee on a hunt for some face wash before realizing she was locked inside. She says her boyfriend, Sam Ashgari, was fast asleep and she had to scream 4 times to wake him up. I'm not going to read this entire caption because it's just a bunch of like intelligible jargon that she's pretty much saying on this Instagram post. But the article goes on to say that when Sam's attempts to pick the lock failed, Britney says she was able to call security to come open the door, but it sounds like they were asleep just like Sam. After 45 minutes, she was eventually free, but only after drinking her stale coffee. What? So apparently some people are thinking there's some ploy to this where she's trying to get more media coverage around the Free Britney camp due to her 13-year conservatorship, where somebody is literally making sure that she's mentally sound and okay. So yeah, there's a lot going on there with this lady, and I wish her the best. I hope that she gets the ongoing therapy and understanding and hopefully some peace in her life. Because I think it's just clear that she's been in the limelight for so long and used to getting attention all the time. When she stopped getting some of that attention, it caused... I just don't think she can understand or deal with not having attention, you know? So at the end of the day, there's a lot going on in this world, and people sometimes need to get out of their phones, get off of the internet, get off of TMZ. And yeah, I know it's kind of hypocritical of me to say that, but don't be afraid to live your life. This week, I'll go back to a recurring segment we have this week on things that I wish I knew when I was 17. Is simply this. The world does not owe you understanding. The world does not owe you anything. Anything you want in this world, you are going to have to earn. If you get something and you get lucky with something, be grateful for that. But it's not expected and you're not entitled to anything. There is a disease that is pervading the minds of the lexicon and of the culture. And you want to know what that disease is? It is entitlement. It is under a cloak called equality. It is excuses. And at the end of the day, what that does, it erodes at something called fortitude. It erodes at the fiber of the American dream. It erodes at what it really means to be somebody that's going to handle adversity and be determined and do what they're going to do to get to their goals. See, what having intestinal fortitude really means is you understand the landscape, you understand the obstacles, you understand what is going on around you. You don't complain about it. You figure out what you need to do in this new landscape, in this new place you're in. And then you seek guidance and mentorship, and then you put in the work. Far too often people are looking for handouts. Far too often people are looking and there's excuses as to why you're not getting it done. I could talk about a million things right now, but I'll just give you a couple examples. For instance, Sha'Carri Richardson. She's not in the Olympics and possibly at least holding a medal, even though the track stars in Jamaica are running crazy. I don't even know if she would have placed, but the reason why she's not in the Olympics and getting that exposure is because of weed. Okay. We got the U.S. women's soccer team. Very talented, have done great things in the past. However, their minds weren't in the right place. They were so busy being woke, so busy being social justice warriors that they fell asleep to the thing that got them the exposure in the first place. That's their craft. That's being a competitor. That's getting it out the mud and being aggressive and attacking the diversity. They were so woke when so many people, like Charlemagne says, when so many people are so woke nowadays, some of y'all need to go to sleep. Some of y'all need to get y'all rest and figure out if the things that you are woke about, you are woke because it really matters to you, or is it the trendy thing to do? I'm not saying that there's not injustices in this world, but don't let them consume you. Because sitting around and being a woke social justice warrior doesn't serve you. It actually erodes at what's going to help you succeed and propel you forward. What's going to propel you forward is taking accountability for the things that happen in your life. What's going to propel you forward is having intestinal fortitude and drive and grit. and not expecting something to happen instantly just because you want it to. People will respect you because of that. Things will happen to you not because of luck. It's because you manifested it through your work, your drive, your determination, and your go-getter attitude. Somebody that's a go-getter, somebody that has fortitude and drive, they don't ask for handouts. They go, they put in the work, they focus on getting better every day. And people who have resources, who have more than you or have more knowledge than you, they'll eventually notice you. And you know what? They wouldn't mind reaching out a hand to somebody who's already digging, somebody that's already grinding, rather than somebody that's sitting at the end of the ditch, somebody that's looking at the hole being dug, but never grabbed a shovel. You're more willing to help somebody who you see trying, who you see not asking for a handout, who's grinding. These are just life lessons and knowledge and nuggets of truth that I'm giving to you. And that's just been on my spirit, man. Like, all I hear is excuses nowadays as to why you're not doing what you need to do. The world does not owe you understanding. The world does not owe you a damn thing. What you can do for you and yourself is get off of your butt. The moratorium is about to end as far as with the evictions. Go get yourself a job. If you're still on unemployment right now, through the entire pandemic, that does not make any sense. Unless it's a physical health issue, that does not make any sense. You can go outside at any point right now, fill out an application. There's literally places that are begging to hire people because they can't find people to work. The entitlement in this culture is crazy. And it doesn't make any sense to just sit idly by and let your life pass you by because you're being stagnant and not wanting to move forward. I refuse to do that in my life. And I don't want to see you do that and make that mistake, young man, at the age of 17. So don't listen to the social justice warriors on social media who think they're going to change the world in 230 characters on Twitter. No. You figure out what you want to do with your life. You seek guidance and mentorship on things that you don't know yet. And then you get after it. Grab your shovel, start digging, one step at a time. And like Kanye and Kid Cudi said, keep moving forward, keep moving forward. Ain't no stopping me now. I'm moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. That's been another episode of the Carrot Juice Podcast. I wish everybody good health. I hope people are enjoying their summers. I know I am. I got some steaks waiting for me upstairs that I'm about to go put up on the grill with some potatoes, some scalloped potatoes, and some Brussels sprouts. Life is good. Hug somebody. Love somebody. Do something good for somebody, not expecting anything in return. And I'll speak to you guys next week. All right. Peace.